Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update on Ukraine. Let's go to the tactical maps straight away because they have just been released and the situation is very hard in Bakhmut and Lysychansk. Nevertheless, President of Ukraine Vladimir Zelenskyi today attended the Bakhmut city, the hottest place on the front lines. We're gonna see the pictures about it later in this video. Now let's speak about the situation over there. Well, it's hard to see something around the Bakhmut area. We're gonna zoom in a little bit later. Now I just want to show you that Russia continued their attacks near to Soledar, all across the Bakhmut area from the south as well, and also they tried to attack from Lysychansk direction. And just yesterday evening I get the information that the Ukrainian army performed their successful counterattack over here direction to Crimea, getting some of the territories under control. But Russia, as you can see, still has the vector of their attack and they put reinforcements near to Crimea. It means that it would be very hard for Ukrainian forces to get access towards that town, and our attack I think was repelled yesterday, but still we got some of the territories under control. And Russia still tries to access Bilohorivka over here and also Verkhnokamenka from the south part of the Lysychansk, unsuccessful. Also, we have one more Bilohorivka. It's here, not far away from that Bilohorivka, and Russians also try to get that one under control. According to the deep state map information, this village was taken by Russians, but according to the tactical chart, Russians advanced there, but with no success. And this is the closer look on the Bakhmut city. So Russians continue their attacks, no success over here. And according to the deep state map, live Russians took this part over here, but according to the tactical map, somehow they are still keeping their positions further away from this park. And they try to penetrate the defense line to enter the city itself, the residential area, but we're gonna zoom in a little bit later to the city itself to see what is happening there. And also, as you can see, they try to get the city from the south where they already crossed the river. This direction is the most vulnerable, I think, for Ukrainian side, because here Russians are trying to penetrate defense line without any kind of success. And for the Bakhmut direction, they already have lost more than 10,000 soldiers. Is just crazy. There is no strategic goal for Russia to take the Bakhmut city. It's simply they cannot change the war outcome. What they want there, what Prigozhin, the leader of the Wagner army, wants there, he wants to show to the Russian leader that he is capable to take cities with his Wagner army, so he may ask for more investments to his own troops. But I think nothing will happen from their attempts taking Bakhmut city because they simply waste their precious resources, army men. And this is the city, and Russia tries to attack over here, but as you can see we have the blue arrow over there. It's the Ukrainian counterattack. So our 57th brigade was reinforced with the new troops that were coming there from the Kherson direction, and now we have the counterattack towards the Russian positions, and there is the probability that we can push them away from the Bakhmut city and take their positions. And yes, it's risky for Ukrainian army to go on a counterattack from the secure positions, and Russians obviously have many more forces in this region. And if we move southbound here, the fighting is ongoing for the Optna village. Our forces are still there, securing perimeter. What I don't like over there, that this is the red color, it's behind our positions, our defense positions. It's kind of tricky, but still we can put more defense line over here because it's just a tiny little part of the land over here to protect the Bakhmut city, and Russians still may take Opita under their control. The idea now for Ukrainian army is to prepare more defense lines. So we have, for example, it here near to the road, we have it behind the river over here, we have it behind this place where the railroad is. So we continue to build the resistance to the Russian army that potentially can break through the first defense line, but it will enter the second, then the third, and they will finally lose lots of forces, lots of the army men, and that will cause them maybe to retreat. And after Russian forces would be just demoralized with heavy losses, it would be the time for Ukrainians to go on a counterattack using reserves, and that's the tactics of Ukrainian army. Russia continued to attack near to Donetsk. Here we have Marinka and also Novomikhailivka. They tried, but unsuccessfully. Marinka, they took some of the buildings recently, but they applied the forces there for attack for many months and just gained control over, Marinka, part of it. Pisky, they took Pisky in 8 months or something, and also Alexandropol, Krasnohorivka. So Russia continued to put their forces and get severe losses near to Donetsk as well. And simply there is no any kind of even tactical advantage of the Russian troops there. And here we go with the global map. Here you can see that clearly only the eastern part of Ukraine and partially the northeast part is under the Russian attack. So the fighting is going out there, but not in Zaporizhia, not in Kherson any longer. Occasionally, Ukrainian army uses the rocket artillery system to target the Russian ammunition depots and also the control centers, army command, and basically barracks. So everything is okay and control in this area. Here we also have losses, but Russia has just severe losses because they are on attacking side that usually lose 3 times more at least compared to defending side. This picture was taken today in Bakhmut. In the center of it you can see our President Zelensky, who attended the hottest place on the front lines, and I think intelligence services provide the cover for President, and they are somewhere in the factory with our soldiers. So our President today greeted and honored our soldiers with some medals, and it's great move that may increase the morale of Ukrainian army. And this picture was also taken today, but in Kremlin, Moscow, Russia. In the central part you can see Putler and his friends, basically the leader of the self-proclaimed DPR, Donetsk People's Republic, some of the pricks from his propaganda media, and army men, many more stuff. So definitely it is the parallel reality compared to what Ukrainian leader does in Ukraine and how he behaves, honoring his own forces, soldiers that are fighting for the freedom of our country. And this guy, he simply doesn't care about his own soldiers and his own people. But Putin sent his chief maniac, the Wagner army leader Prigozhin. So he just showed the artillery systems. He said it's near to the Bakhmut, and they fired some shells towards the city, he said, to send the greetings for the President Zelensky. Prigozhin, next time take the Russian leader Putler with you, and obviously we're gonna reply, we do not care about your personality. 2 of the Turkish Air Force Airbus's A400s returned back to their homeland before they were stuck in Borispol airport for long 10 months, and actually they were very close to my house. Probably that is why my house wasn't targeted by the Russian rockets as Borispol itself. And still there are some of the airplanes stuck in Borispol airport, including foreign companies. I'm not sure about the military aviation, but commercial airplanes are still there. The runway is blocked in Borispol, so I think they used the ground surface actually to take off the unpaved part of the airfield. It's possible for those airplanes, especially if they are empty. They have awesome characteristics, short takeoffs and landings, and I really like Airbus A400. It's fantastic airplane, looks similar to Antonov 70, and some say that Airbus actually stole the design from Antonov Design Bureau, improved it, and here you go with the best turboprop military airplane. transport airplane. Alright, finally, officially, in the next military package, United States will send precision bomb kits and Patriot missiles. So the rumors that we were talking before about the Patriot systems that could be delivered to Ukraine are now confirmed officially. That's the huge step in protecting Ukrainian skies and causing Russians severe losses. But Putin still thinks that he is capable to capture all of the Ukraine. At least we got the information about it from Financial Times. They have quite a big article about Putin's intentions that he is preparing his own people for the long-term war. And little by little, Russia will continue to push on Ukraine, but simply it's not possible for a long time because Russia is struggling with their resources. And today there was the information that came from the oil markets that Russia lost half of their sales, with the G7 countries putting the price limits for their oil. Plus, the European Union put the limit price for the Russian gas. Plus, there was a big explosion of the Russian gas pipe in Siberia, and it's the same gas pipe that goes to European Union through Ukraine. And simply Russians would not have enough resources to sustain the long-term conflict in Ukraine, and they struggle with absence of the modern-day military technological equipment and basic tools for their army. For Ukraine, we are quite unlimited with the help that we have from the Western countries. Basically, yes, I must say that we will be supplied throughout this war and our resources would just increase, but Russian resources will fail, obviously. And the war is always about resources. Russia is the single country against Ukraine, which is supported by almost 50 countries. By the way, today the Parliament of the Russian Federation tried to apply the new law that will increase the penalty for the sabotage up to the life term in prison. It could be the most strict law against smoking. About the yesterday's dictators meeting in Belarus, Russian president with Lukashenko, the information comes from the International Institute of the War Researchers. They say that Putin was not able to convince Lukashenko to join the military operation in Ukraine. But still, Belarus will support Russia in this conflict. They just give Russia their territories, infrastructure, airfields and everything except their forces. Lukashenko just afraid that if Belarusian soldiers will go and die, it may disturb the society and he will have more riots in his country. He remembers 2020, 2021 that he almost lost his power. He is so afraid that he would never do it or try to avoid it as long as possible. There is also one theory from one of the Ukrainian journalists that Putin wants to give nuclear weapons to Belarus and he wants Belarus to use the nukes against Ukraine so the world would not react with their nukes on Belarus and on Russia. I think it also will not happen. Not only the United States of America are helping Ukraine with military, we also have some help from other countries, for example, France. They delivered to us the Cortel air defense systems, and today it's been confirmed that they will give us more of those units. And next year they promise to deliver more Caesar artillery systems. That's awesome. So this unit is made together with Thales and Samsung joint development. It's awesome. Thales is a very important company if we speak about technologies. I used to fly the ATR-72-600 and we have the Thales monitors in our cockpits, and also they produce monitors for Airbus airplanes as well. I think not just monitors but very sophisticated electronics, and Russia before used the technologies of that company to put on their tanks, and because now it's banned to supply those technologies to Russia, they cannot build their modern tanks. That's why they use T-72 tanks and sometimes even T-62. Alright guys, this is the Russian army advertisement. It should have been made to show the perspective of the Russian army, and if you join it, you can have enough funds even to buy the car. So this video shows the elderly guy who is selecting the products in the shop, kind of standard Russian life. So then he looks at his wallet inside. He found out that, okay, it's not enough, so he should put down sausages. And his car is like that. This is the old Lada. Actually, it used to be my first car that I took from my grandpa. My grandpa said that he's kind of old for the driving, so he gave the car to me, and it was my first one actually to study how to drive. After it, I bought my car that I have right now. But the story is the same. This is the grandkid of the grandfather, and they want to sell the car because simply it's not enough money to sustain their family. And from what I can see, that the grandpa really likes his car. He doesn't want to sell it, but he have to. So there's a customer arrived, and he said like, okay, enough to sit here. It's my car already. And he said that I will pay you just 30,000 rubles. And grandpa says, no, it's not a lot. I need 60,000 because I need money to pay something, you know, for something. And this guy says, no, 30,000 or I will not take it. So grandpa have to agree on the deal. He's up to sign the paper, but now here's the hero. His grandkid went to army. He says, no, we'll not sell our beautiful car for 30,000. I'll better go and die, and my grandpa will have a new white Lada. Well, actually, he said that I will earn money for our family, but we all know what will happen next. So basically, it's kind of very cringy advertisement showing the life, the real life of Russians inside the Russia, not in Moscow, not in St. Petersburg, but outside those big cities, how they have to deal with poverty, and they actually need to go to earn money even in the army to sustain normal living. And that is why there were many volunteers at the beginning of the war who were willing to fight in Ukraine. But now we all know that it's like a death penalty if you go and fight, and your relatives may have Lada after all, but what it will bring to you. That is why volunteers dropped a little bit, and now they're not willing to fight in Ukraine. That is why Russia produces those cringy videos. About the deep state map update, it was the one today, but we already discussed the situation on the front lines with you using tactical maps that are more precise from my perspective, my friends. We're gonna return to this later, and now I just want to say that I will continue to keep you updated on situation in Ukraine. And if you want to support this channel, just press the like button. If you want to support me financially, there are some of the links in a video description just below. You may support me on Patreon, PayPal, or Donatello, whichever you like. And thank you so much for your awesome support. My friends, I wish you a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.